We're live. Hello, Danielle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you here. Um,
Thank you
so
so much for having me.
yes. So the first thing that drew me to your profile was your title, The Rich Girl Business. And I was like, ooh, what is this?
Mm.
I want to hear more and learn more. So tell us about you, who you are, what you do, how you got started, that type of thing.
Absolutely. So, Rich Girl Business, I started over 6 years ago, about November 2013. And at the time, I was actually coming out of a failed business with a business partner that didn't unfortunately work. And I was just really determined to crack this code of how to have a six-figure work from anywhere business. And I
Mhm.
just wanted to know if it was possible. So I literally jumped out of bed, like out of bed in November, and I was like, I know what it's going to be called. It's going to be called Rich Girl Business. And at the time, I definitely was not a rich girl, or nor did I crack that code. But again, that's that forward vision. Just like, I'm going to figure it out. I know that this is what I want to help women crack the code as I do it in the process. So that's where it was kind of like born from. And it took me a while. I had some contracting work, by April 2014, though, I was like out of it. I was like, I want to quit my job cold
Mhm.
turkey so that I can focus on really, again, cracking this code on having a six-figure online business. And at the time, I really just couldn't figure out how to do it all while working a 40-hour job outside of the home,
Yeah.
coming home, cooking, cleaning, child rearing, and then
Yeah.
having time to work on a business to make it work. And so I was burning the midnight oil, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go all in. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna dive in. I know I can figure this out. And my husband, this like blindsided him. Talk about jumping and hoping the net's gonna appear. And I did really struggle for 6 months, to be quite honest. I mean, I had some downloads that did serve me. Like one of them was like, getting my audience on Facebook growing. So I did have some wins along the way, but I was not financially that profitable. And one of my biggest things is pricing. I was charging like $500 to work with me.
Mhm.
A lot of that came because of the money story I was currently in. I quit my job, cold turkey, no savings. I remember coming home and telling my husband like I quit my job today, and he looking at me like I was crazy. So definitely struggling to figure it out. But about 6 months later, in October 2014, a coach reached out to me, and it was a divine connection because again, I kind of knew how much coaching was, and I kind of wasn't. I knew didn't have enough money for it, but she had reached out to me, and lo and behold, we got in a conversation, and she realized I was struggling in my business, and she said, "You have a lot of compliments and no cash." I remember that really stuck. I was like, "Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
I do have a lot of people who say, oh, I love your work,' but I couldn't. I had made up to about $2,500 a month by this point. So but after being 6 months of like out
Yeah.
there, you're not paying bills. Like, see, that's the danger. It's like you got to be making enough to take over. So, anyways, she's like, I can help you. You need to change your prices. You need to charge more for what you're doing, and you need to understand that. And so I was like, well, how much does it cost to work with you? And she's like, $5,000. If you sign up today, it's $4,000. And I was like,
But
I don't have that, but I have a
yeah.
$1,000. What does that buy me? And she said 1 hour. And I said, I'll take it. And
Yeah.
in that 1 hour, she told me how to, you need to charge $1,500, and this is how you do it. And 2 days later, I had a call with somebody, and I told her exactly what the lady said. Like, I'm $1,500, and she said, "Okay, here's my credit card." And I went on to make $12,000 that in 30 days, signing up 10 $1,500 clients. I ended up paying the lady the rest of her $4,000 balance, flew to Orlando, and
Oh,
then I did $175,000 in the next year. So I just feel like, talk about speaking things into existence. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Speaking from your future self and saying, I've already claimed it, and I'm going to work backwards. And my reality is going to catch up.
Yes.
And I definitely say, like, I was at a place too that, because I didn't really hear people say that when I tell them how much it is to work with me. Women will be like, oh, like, a lot of women now are like, okay, that's no problem. But in the beginning, like, I couldn't afford that. But like for me, I said, you know, what does $1,000 buy me? And she was like 1 hour. And I rarely have had women do that where they're like, okay, this is how much money I do have. What does that buy me? Because you'd be surprised
And
how
then you just,
15 minutes could change your life, you know, because that
yeah,
1 hour changed my life.
I
You
believe
know, if
it.
I had
Yes.
said, you know, yeah. So to make a long story short, that's where Rich Girl Business, it came from this idea. I'm happy to say that I did crack the code. And for the last 6 years, I've been coaching full time. You know, I've helped dozens and dozens, hundreds of women, thousands of women through my impact. Teaching them how to package, price, position, promote, and profit from high ticket offers so that they can work with fewer, more ideal clients so they can hit high income much faster. And
Right.
so I'm all about having a rich girl business and a rich girl life, you know, so that's kind of, and it's evolved a lot. Like where I was in that name 5 years, 6 years ago
Uh-huh.
now, you know, I still have the name and it's still relevant, but I think I've simplified and elevated a lot of things that, you
Yeah.
know, because at the beginning I was trying a lot of things like everybody else. And
Yeah.
now with maturity and experience and results, you know, I do understand a more elegant, more feminine and family focused type of way of building a business, which I think is very important for the modern woman. So that's kind of a little bit about me and or to get started and why I named it Rich Girl Business.
I love it. I love that you mentioned you're like, you know what? I'm gonna claim that today and just dive right into it, knowing that I already have it. I'm already gonna bring those incomes in. So that brings me to manifestation, law of attraction. We're hearing so much about it right now in the online business space. Tell me about that. You know, what your experience has been with that. Did you do the whole vision board thing? Did you script? Like, what parts of it did
Right.
you tie into your strategy?
Yeah, that's what I do love about, you know, spirituality, law of attraction, all of these is that, you know, it is what you make it to be. You know what I mean? And the basic is what you think becomes or your thoughts become things. So if you believe that vision boards hold power for you and that what you put on there becomes and that is something that you really believe in, it absolutely works, you know.
Yes.
So I just love that there's such a spectrum and so many different techniques to make work for you. So for me, what I always at the core have always asked God for wisdom, you know, and I always tell my clients, I don't want to get rich quick. I want to get rich for real. And I feel like, you know, I've seen people, you know, make millions of dollars fast, but they weren't mature. They didn't have the wisdom. They didn't have the discernment to keep it or be able to handle that type of success when they got it. So I think just for me, it's always like, how can I seek wisdom? How can I be wise so I'm ready? You know what I mean?
Right.
And through that, that is law of attraction in itself. Like Rumi's quote, what you seek is seeking you. So even that practice of asking God for wisdom, I feel like I've been honored with that, you know, resources,
Yes.
YouTube videos, people, just books. My husband just mentioned things that are just like all in alignment to bringing me closer to what I feel like is true alignment and true peace and joy. So I say all that to say that like my spiritual journey probably got really stronger in the last 2 years where I started really diving deep into law of attraction. And it has been really powerful because I think the biggest thing that I've learned on law of attraction that supported me is that it really is the subject of two subjects, you know, what you desire and the lack of it not here yet. And then when you realize that, most people launch rockets of desires that I want more money, I want more clients. But as soon as they launch that rocket of desire, they put all the attention to the lack of it yet. Well, when is it going to come? It hasn't happened.
Yeah.
When's my manifestation going to come? Is when, you know, I don't trust the process. And that right there actually is law of attraction
Yeah,
working.
like the
It's
negative.
actually it's expanding more on the lack of it yet not
Yeah.
realized. And so that powerful like understanding has supported me, like even how I think and how I've even been able to support my clients on another level. It's actually I do less physical work and more mental work around this mindset of law of attraction and thoughts become things because it is so natural for us to have lack thoughts or go straight to the worry, or it's not here, or what if bad something goes wrong, or what are they thinking, or it's just like, so once you're very intentional and aware of this concept of there's actually not just you wanting it, yeah, law of attraction is you wanting it, you desire, but you got to be careful of the opposite of you actually spending more time worrying about it not here yet. And once you learn that, it's like such a powerful shift, because that practice of always redirecting to what I want to happen actually gives you more of that. So
Yes.
I feel like it's actually, learning this has made my work more valuable with less physical work, because it's this mental mindset work that people are, untrained on, what I mean? So it's been a journey, and like I said, I'm still on it. I'm like, again, a lot of my clients come to me and they want, faith-based, and now that was an interesting, because I've grown up going to the church with my husband. I won't say I've grown up religious by no means, but it's been interesting attracting faith-based clients or women, and then bringing in this spiritual component of law of attraction, because there's kind of like
they're
two different things, and you're not supposed to, and I'm new to, I didn't know that, which to me it's like the law of gravity. At the end of the day, we can't see it, and it doesn't matter what you believe in. Clearly it's a law, because we're sitting on this planet, and we went, so it's kind of like law of attraction, that you can't see it, but you know what I mean? Those who know how to use it know it works, and you know what I mean? So, but even with that, with my faith, I've asked, again, source, God, hey, help me with wisdom in this. And he's even provided me scriptures and resources that have had a faith-based perspective on all of this, that I'm able to leverage spiritual teachings into religious, biblical teachings and words into this, that really do make me feel good. So I do believe that there is, a crossover for sure.
Makes me think of the book Think and Grow Rich too. That book, I read it years back, but I'm actually rereading it now with a local book club. It's just all about the mindset, and you can tie Christianity into that too. Faith, it's having faith. Some say faith, some say law of attraction, and just believing, you're bringing those good things to you. So
that's why I wear a cross. That's why I wear a cross now. I know the true meaning. God died on the cross for our sins. But what I really love is why I've really taken it, because it's a reminder that it's actually, not only is it that cross, but it's also a positive side. And so when we talk about, where your thoughts become things, I feel like this is a reminder that if you want to be on the God frequency, the only frequency you can be on is positive, right? Because, anything that ain't positive is negative, and that's the devil frequency. That's the doubt, So this is this is my symbolic reminder that I've crossed over from the natural to the supernatural in my thinking about that. That if I want positive to come to me, if I want if I want to hear the word of God, I must be in a positive state of vibration, of mindset, because he's not hearing, if you talking negative, that ain't God, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
And I know people, have different definitions of how God's wrath is, you know what I mean? But on this, my interpretation is definitely love and light, and that, I'm to be a reflection of that, and then again, prosperity will flow to me for that. So
love it.
It's a cool.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating topic. Like one of those things you could go on and on about, because it's deep. Once you start really tapping into it, it just gets really deep when you consider all angles of it. So we've been talking a little bit about spirituality. Tell us what it is that you do. You kind of, tapped into the spirituality. If you want to dig into that more, you can, but I want to hear also what you're doing to take care of yourself physically and mentally and all of that.
Yeah, so excellent, because that's one of the things that I'm also passionate about, is helping women build a feminine business by design. And because we've been taught a lot to do, to have more, you have to do to have to be, right? That's the old paradigm, or the masculine paradigm. And the feminine paradigm, or just, the next level paradigm, I don't even say it's feminine, but it's the be, do, have, so you need to be that person that's embodiment, that's, you know, that's operating at the level, you make decisions from that next level being, and then you have, you know, you can't get there from here, you have to get there from there. So I think, you know, that's really having a lot of this embodiment conversations with my clients. So what I'm helping my clients right now do is helping them really scale their business with simplicity, right? So to scale over $500,000 to scaling to 7 figures in a very lean, leveraged, and lucrative way, so that they do have plenty of bandwidth and bank, I say, so that they have the time and the money for self-care, for investing, for showing up for their family, for rest, for, because we always say as a feminine woman, as the modern women, we're navigating in a modern world where we have many responsibilities. And I believe that women really need to be strategic in the way that they build businesses that allow for them to, again, have that, you know, peace and profits, because you have to have like bandwidth and bank to cultivate a feminine lifestyle and book your self-care and to have travel and invest and set your kids up and have, you know, like I said, it's not just the physical work that more women are doing, it's the mental work of all the to-do list. So, and I think that overwhelms and stresses out women. We don't operate like men do. We don't have testosterone where we work hard under pressure. So I think for us, you know, what I'm doing is, again, teaching women this. The 3 areas I really support my next level clients to really understand is the millionaire's mindset, how to tap into your next level millionaires. Who are you at your millionaire's level? And, you know, envisioning her, you know, knowing who she is, what are you available for? What does your day look like? You know, and then from that place, making decisions. So there's that doing, you know, from that place of being. So it's not about doing more, it's about being more. And then from that being, you do different things. And from that doing, then you have, again, operating at that next level to get there. Because, you know what I mean, working your way up can be long and tiring.
Yes,
and that's what I'm trying to, so that's like really what I'm doing for my self-care and for my clients' self-care. My whole goal is to work, you know, a few as many hours. So I work about 10 hours coaching my clients via Voxer. So it's very mobile, which is cool because we're getting off of like always needing modules. Like we're living our life. You know, I tell them I like to create content, you know, make connections and coach. Like my millionaire self, she's showing up, she's doing videos, she's doing podcasts, she's creating, she just can't wait to share with the world. Like, come on, girls, you know what I mean? So I'm doing that now, regardless. You operate like that now. That's what I would be doing. And from that content, I would be making connections, you know, I'd be having conversations, building relationships. It would be fun, you know, money's not an issue. And then from that place, I'd be coaching. I would be taking these women and moving them into this journey with me. So it's knowing who that is and then doing that. So I know what my day looks like. That's what it looks like. It looks like me creating content, but it is a lot of self-care and a lot. It's like I have somebody that comes in to tutor my kids 3 hours a day. So I'm not feeling like,
just like
too far behind her. You know, like help, you know, team looks. It can be somebody building a funnel, or it could be somebody who's putting up my dishes. She actually does like housework, you know what I mean? If I need somebody to prospect, like she's like a right-hand gal, you know, but being able to afford somebody to come in here and do this, have the time to cook meals and research and, you know, all of those things. So I consider that I take a nap daily. That's another non-negotiable. Even when my kids went to school, you know, about every day I'd probably get in a nap, or at least when they got home. Now I still do. They know my mom's taking it. Because, you know, so it's getting rid of this idea, but it's all in the mindset. It's all in the business model. You have to have the right mindset. You definitely have to have the right type of business model that allows you to be able to do this as soon as possible. So you have the money for you to scale to the masses.
Right.
So my model is, how can we see with the fewest amount of women at the highest, at our zone of genius, so we get great results, and then we can come back and save everybody else once we saved ourselves. But because that's another thing about women, we're very much humanitarians. You know, we want to save and don't want to leave a woman behind or a thing behind. But in the meantime, you know, we'll be trying to put out somebody's fire while we're burning over here. You know what I mean? And so I think that's radical self-care. Is
It is.
setting a standard and saying like I'm gonna model good behavior, because if I don't, other women will look at me and say this is how it looks, and it doesn't have to look like that. So
Right. No,
that's self-care for me.
it is. No, it's so true. I've been guilty of that. You just put everybody else before your own needs, and then you start suffering, and you get burnt out. You're not working out. You're not eating right. You're just eating on the fly. So it's so true. Just being
Yeah,
able
like
to,
developing a signature
yeah,
look, you know what I mean?
yes,
Like,
that too.
the kids are like, where are you going? And I'm like, this is how I do, baby. Like, this is what's this? You know what I mean? This
Yes,
is how it's, what do you mean? Like, I want to be glamorous. I
I
want
love
to
it.
be around beauty. That doesn't come when you cultivate that right now. You know what I mean? And everything, like what that looks like to you.
Right.
So, but it takes bandwidth and bank, baby.
Yes, yes.
Definitely does.
I love that you said that about your parents, because like for the longest with the coronavirus, you're just like in me. I was like my kappa and my workout clothes, and that was it. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start like, although I'm home working, because I still work a 9 to 5 on top of building
Mm-hmm.
everything. I was like, I need to at least dress up every day and just put on. It does something to the psyche. It makes you feel better. You feel so much
Yes.
better. You feel more confident when you actually take the time to dress up and take care of yourself. So I love that you said that, which brings me back to one of the topics you mentioned was the feminine. So you are so right. I have actually the last few months been really diving into that. Like I need to really tap more into that side of me, because it's always just been task driven, do this, do that, do this, forget about yourself, And so
Right.
I love that you
Right.
said that. So bringing in that feminine piece to everything. So, how can women work with you? So, if they want to work with you, what's the process? Where can they find you? Tell us more.
Yes. Yes, there are several ways, because um, there is something for everyone, I guess I could say. So my first thing is, if you're a woman who wants to know what is a business that I can start that allows me to work less, make more, that's going to be the fastest path to hitting 5-figure months, something that I can earn while I learn. So I know a lot of women are searching for an online business, and they might be looking at multi-level marketing, or they might be trying to figure out a skill, or maybe they're looking at a product-based business to launch. I highly encourage you to check out my one program. You can check it out at setupforsuccess.biz. So setupforsuccess.biz, and you can Google Setup for Success Online Business Consultant. You can also find that on Facebook. So many ways, but that's what it's called. I know you'll put it in the notes. I'll send it over to you, the link.
Yeah.
But it's a program that I run with my business partner, and we teach you. It's an instant on-demand training where you can learn how to be a Setup for Success online business consultant. So you earn while you learn. Like, you can apply everything we teach you about branding, ideal clients, packaging, lead generation, social selling, how to close clients. So you can put it in effect for your own business. You can launch this as your business, as the SOBC is what we call them for short. And you're teaching other people the basics of becoming set up for success. But it literally is like all the materials to launch your business. We've had hairstylists take the program,
Oh,
and in
that's
under 2
awesome.
months to
Yeah.
start making 10K months, because we
Right.
give you an offer where everything you've learned in the program, you can immediately start teaching for $3,500 a client. So 3,500 clients a month puts you at
Yeah.
$10,000 a month, and that's very low stress. You only have to talk to 6 people a month to close 1 out of 2 of them. So it's really great, and it's also, you can pay in 4. You can do $500 a month for the year. So you can get in at $500 a month, and I promise you, you get a year worth of coaching. So that's for the women
Oh,
who
that's
are looking
awesome.
for a done for you business, looking for a business, or even an additional stream of revenue. Like, they could tie this to what they are doing. Like, I'm a copywriter. I'm a health and wellness, and I want to teach health and wellness people how to set up a business for success. I
Right.
could become a consultant, but I could still do my own business. So that's one way, $500 a month, set up for success. Now, if you want to work with me privately in my 30-day accelerator, right now is $3,000 for 30 days. You get a private intensive, and then 30 days of one-on-one coaching with me, unlimited through my phone, like you get me in a pocket. but that's to help you get 1 to 3 $3,500 clients to get you to 10K in the next 30 days. And that's really a springboard to help you get to start selling a $50,000 a month in my leverage and lucrative Lady Boss Club. You know, you do need to be pacing towards 10K or making it over, because it's like monthly investment, but you'll be in a similar situation with under 20 clients for the year. You would also be able to hit $500,000. So my whole business structure is all about helping women who want to hit high income months on a business model that they can work less, make more, so that they have plenty of time to be a mom, a wife, travel, shop. You know, what did I say? The things I love to do in my free time? I like to save, shop. What was it? Self-care.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to spend my money on: support, saving, self-care, and shopping.
Oh,
you
I
know,
like
so you
that.
have to have a lot of money. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
You
that.
gotta have a lot of money for all those buckets.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'll definitely be linking all of that, all of your social handles and all of that. So to wrap up everything, do you want to leave our listeners with anything? Any closing remarks?
I just really appreciate for having me on and letting me share with your community. This is such a beautiful space. You know, it's so funny, because actually signing up a client today that I worked with 3 years ago, and just had a 1-hour intensive with her a year ago. And we met up again in a Clubhouse just recently. I don't know how long that'll last to date this show. But we reconnected, and she had all the notes from 3 years ago, and she's done really well. She needs ongoing support in her mindset. But the beautiful thing was, she's just like, I have all your notes from 3 years ago, and it's still timeless to this day. So I just always say, like, I don't care if it's 2 people who hear this or 2 million, you know,
Right.
if I can impact somebody where this stuff sits with them. And even if you hear this, like, can I go higher, or wait, can it be, or any of this, that I feel like I've done my mission, and I know you feel the same way. So it's been an honor and a pleasure. And you can do anything you believe is going to be my last remark.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time this evening, and I'll be seeing you out on social media.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be in the DMs talking. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Okay.